All right, welcome everybody back to the channel. It is Miles of Horror. I have my good buddy Jordan here, and we're here to talk to you guys about Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, slipcovers, and packaging. Doesn't matter. We got a great show for you guys. Let's hit that music, and we'll be right. Jordan, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
What's going on?
Oh, just recovering from the Halloween season. I'm sad it's over, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna stop watching horror movies. We
Yeah,
do that year round. So
yeah,
Not
I'm with
going
I'm
down
with
that
you,
at
man.
all.
I'm with you 100%. I kind of had like a little bit of a November 1st hangover. Did you feel that at
Yeah.
all?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
I
I'm not even done watching Halloween movies. I mean, I just got, like I showed you in the mail, I just got Trick or Treat and the WNUF2 Halloween special from TerraVision. So
dude, I'm so jealous you got your television stuff.
I know. Yeah, it came really fast. I was surprised. And I didn't even get like a shipping notification from Synapse either. So like they both just showed up like as a surprise on my birthday, which was cool.
That's
So,
awesome. Um, I am waiting on my TerraVision stuff. I
yeah.
got my Trick or Treat, and I have it right here. I know
Yeah.
you did also, and I watched it last night. And I know
Stop.
you and I were talking a little bit about it. I did a
Yeah.
video. So if you guys are interested, I did a video this morning. Actually, I'm pumping out the videos, guys. I'm just
Yes,
pumping
sir.
them out for you guys. Check it out. I'll give my thoughts on Trick or Treat. I'll even say like my opinions and thoughts on this movie have even evolved since this morning. Like I've been thinking about it more and more, and I really liked it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out this weekend for sure sometime. So
yeah, I definitely want to hear what you think. I will say this before we get into today's topic. I enjoyed the movie a lot, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts after you watch it. But I was a little underwhelmed with the soundtrack, if that sounds crazy enough.
yeah.
There's one particular scene where Sammy Kerr is like the main guy, the main like rock star in the movie,
Mhm.
does a performance, right? And you can imagine that would be the case, and it just fell a little flat for me.
Yeah.
So I expected more from that scene. But anyway, you watch it, you tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Actually, I'm also a really big fan of another 80s like rock and roll movie called Black Roses. Have you ever heard of that or seen it?
No, what is that?
Dude, it's so good. And actually Synapse actually did a DVD version of it, but I'm hoping that they put it out on like Blu-ray or 4K. But yeah, you need to check out Black Roses sometime. That one is sick. It's
Sick.
amazing.
I just wrote it down. Black Roses. Yeah. So all right, cool. Appreciate the rec.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, so me and my buddy Jordan are back once again for you guys. And today's topic. Now, speaking of Trick or Treat, we got this deluxe, beautiful edition. And to my understanding, the only other physical media release of this was a Brazilian DVD, I think. So
Mhm.
nothing in the States, and this is the only way to watch this movie on physical media, to my understanding.
Yep.
And so we got this deluxe edition with three different artworks and three different box sets, and you and I both got the same one because
Yep.
let's be honest, the artwork mattered, right? On this release, the artwork mattered.
100%.
And so I watched. I don't know if you're a fan of Planet CHH.
Oh yeah, I love that dude. I watch
Yeah,
all the videos. Big fan.
same. So I watched one of his videos recently, and they were talking about he was talking to Brad Henderson. You and I think we talked about
Yep.
that video a little bit. And for those of you that don't know, Brad Henderson is the one of the main players of TerraVision. He was a big player in Vinegar Syndrome for many years, since like 2018, I think.
Yep.
And he was responsible for bringing a lot of movies to Vinegar Syndrome. A lot of the extras, he did most of the producing on almost all the extras on the titles from like 2018 to like 2022, I believe.
Yep.
So he had a big he was a big reason why Vinegar Syndrome kind of exploded. And he had mentioned that they were going in different directions and yada yada. But he was like so poignant and so flat out about packaging not mattering.
Yep.
And I totally get it. And he's very, to him, it's all about the disc and the physical media, and he was very keen on that. But I
Yep.
just can't help thinking, I don't think most people agree with that. What do you think?
Definitely not. I mean, it does depend on who you ask. I get what he's saying though, like with all the work, because I mean he's done some of the work and like the film restorations and stuff like that too, and like I'm sure he's a big fan of like what goes into that, you know. So
Yeah, I do know. I just found it so fascinating that he like
yeah.
didn't care. Like, do you find that like
Yeah,
fascinating?
it was weird too because it was kind of like a back and forth thing because then there were some points in that podcast when he was like saying that he does like some of the packaging and that he does like they come to him and ask his opinion often, but he basically said he just doesn't give a shit about it at all. So
Yeah, it was like crazy to me because I know you think similarly. I don't know your exact thoughts. That's why we're here today. But
yeah,
I it is as much a part of the release to me as anything else.
100%. I totally agree. Like there's just something about having like a nice packaging and like a movie that you love that just like takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah, not only that, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
When you're getting a movie you love and you're getting it with artwork you love and you're getting it with extras you love and art cards and really you can fan out, like there's nothing cooler than that. But I
Yeah.
also think on the flip side of things, and here's where Vinegar Syndrome really comes into play, and I think they've built an empire on this, okay? Truly is
Yeah.
what I think. When you get a movie that you don't love that much or you don't know much about and they present it to you in this gorgeous premium packaging, it feels like this is a premium movie. Do you
Yeah.
agree?
I was just gonna bring that up, but yeah, I mean, totally. It can turn a turd into a diamond for sure.
I like that.
But
Turn it
yeah,
into a diamond. So, like, for me, right off the bat, like, I brought a couple, releases here just to kind of like talk as talking points. One of the titles one of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome releases ever was this release of Ticks. Okay, and I've spoken about it
same.
on other videos, but this movie was a '90s kind of gem that really kind of fell to the wayside. That was restored by Vinegar Syndrome in 4K, and they gave it the treatment and all that. Now, this movie to me feels so premium because of this packaging.
Definitely.
It feels like it's a can't miss release. It feels like something that you must have in your collection, or you're gonna not getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too is like that hard box is out of print. I'm too pretty sure. So
It is, yeah.
you can still buy the movie, but you only get like the regular like 4K case. And like knowing that hard box is out there, if I was gonna buy it, I would just go for that right away because like there's just something about knowing that like a better edition exists that just I mean it gets to the collector in me. I mean that's just how it is. And I mean I may not speak for everyone, but that's how it is for me personally because I'm a big collector of stuff. So
I'm the same way, man. I think we've talked about it before, but like there is. So here's a great example, right? So again, here's a good example of this for me. So I picked up Hellraiser many years ago. Okay, now this is a standard box set edition. Three
yep.
Blu-rays. I'm not the biggest Hellraiser. I'm wearing a Hellraiser T-shirt, but I'm not.
I have that too. That's sick. I love that.
Traditionally, classically, I'm not the biggest Hellraiser fan. I'm more of a Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. But of the big franchise, Hellraiser's without a question my least favorite.
Yeah.
Um, I like Pinhead a lot as a character, but the movies never really hit for me like the other major franchises. Now, I was good with this set, like I really was, and it had 3 movies, separate cases, which is something I value as well.
Yeah.
And it's got pretty sweet artwork on that. I don't know if you're familiar with this edition.
Yeah, actually, so I had the Scarlet box, which was basically like it was a little bit more like premium edition than that, but
Yep.
it had the exact same artwork and everything, except I think it was like a red box, but it's basically the same thing. I think it came with like a booklet and stuff too, but I actually ended up selling that off a while ago because I wanted to get the 4K when they announced that. So
that's a perfect example, right?
yeah,
Like
and
I had this, and
also,
the Scarlet Box specifically was a great release. That
yeah,
was
I actually ended up selling that for like quite a bit more than I paid because it was super rare and out of print. And I actually sold it off before they announced the 4K quadrilogy. So that helped me out some for sure.
So I mean, that's a great example because that Scarlet Box was widely viewed as a masterpiece of a release, and a
Yeah,
lot of people view that as one of the best, if not the best, box sets that Arrow ever did. And
definitely.
so here comes right. I had this standard release because again, when I first got into collecting and I picked up all these titles, I just didn't for Hellraiser specifically. I didn't, that release was out of print already, so like
Yep.
it was going for a lot of money, and I just didn't need to spend it on a franchise that I didn't really adore. So I picked up this,
Definitely.
and this was fine for me. This is all I needed. I had my hard box. I had the separate cases, but in comes along the 4K, right? The 4K Quartet of Torment. Now it there is a level of I want this movie in 4K. I have it here somewhere. There is a level of I want this movie on 4K, but there's also another whole level of this shit is banging. This packaging is banging, and like when you open this thing, like you have like the fleshy like holes in there, but when you
Yeah.
open this thing, it's one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, in regard to physical media. Like they have this fleshy, translucent slipcover.
Yeah. And it sits on there so tight. It feels so nice. It just
It's
fits
so
perfectly.
it's on there so tight. It feels so nice. It's fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah.
And so, for this release again, this topic is far and wide, and there's so many things we can go into, and we will, touch on it briefly, but this is a great example, right? Like I had the movies, I had them on Blu-ray. They look great. For a franchise that I don't necessarily adore, but
Yeah.
for it because this packaging was so banging, I was like, I have to get it.
Yep.
I have to get the 4K. But I would have been okay with the discs. Like if you gave me this packaging with Blu-ray discs, I honestly would have been okay with that. I
Yeah.
don't have to have it in 4K. It's not a movie that I thought to myself, I have to have it in 4K. I decided to upgrade because the packaging was so
Yeah.
banging.
Yeah, it's sick. That might be my favorite box set that I've picked up in like the last year, honestly. It's amazing. Um, but yeah, and also so shifting to Vinegar Syndrome packaging. Another reason why slip covers and stuff mean a lot to me is like I'm so OCD that all of my Vinegar Syndrome releases have slip covers. And like I want to get some of the older releases, but the slip covers on those releases are so expensive that like I haven't got them yet because I'm trying to either wait for them to like reissue it or put it into like a 4K, like Demon Wind, for example. I don't own that movie and I want it so bad. And like if I get it without that lenticular slip, my collection won't feel complete because literally every one of my Vinegar Syndrome releases I have has a slip cover.
So I have that Demon Wind lenticular slip,
Yeah, me too.
and it's awesome, and I have it sealed,
Oh,
which
really?
which
Damn.
is legit. So yeah, that's one of like my top Vinegar Syndrome pieces in my collection.
Yeah.
I'm very proud that I have that. Again, still sealed, lenticular slip. Um, so in thinking about that, I totally understand what you mean. I totally get it. And
Yep.
for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably have over 1,000 Vinegar Syndrome titles.
Yeah.
Maybe not that many. Maybe that's a little crazy, but I'd say at least 500.
Yeah.
I've been a subscriber for many years, and I because of that, I've been able to kind of go back and get all the things that I've missed.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really, I kind of keep up to date month to month because I am a subscriber. And there was a while when I first got into them and I was kind of backlogging and going back. And I'm at a point now where I pretty much have everything. There's one box that I never got. It was what was it? The Slaughterhouse, like you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
So I have the movie, but I never got my hands on that pull open box, which is unfortunate. But that again, that was one of those things I was just going for so much third
Yeah.
party, and I was like, you know what? I have the movie, and I like the movie. I don't love the movie. I think it's good. It's fun, and so I just never wanted to pay that extra money for it. And
Yeah.
we're talking like $120 for that.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask you too if you were the kind of guy that would like buy a slipcover, like if you needed it to like complete like your slipped collection. Would you buy a slipcover to put on your movie just to have it?
7 years ago, yes. 7, 8 years ago, on no question
Yeah,
about it. Now, probably not.
yeah,
Now, not so much. But I will say this: if there is a box set that I want, like the Hellraiser 4K, the Quartet of Torment, before the US release got announced, I was scouring the web, man. I was looking to see if
yeah,
maybe it was available somewhere, because I missed out on the UK release, and I was like, okay, I
yeah,
want this. How do I get it? So I have no issue going third party if there's something that like I absolutely miss out on a need. I try not
yeah,
to let that happen. But
yeah,
as far as like a slip cover is concerned, I'm not as big of a stickler on the slip covers as
yeah.
I used to be. Like, so for
Same.
example, I really want we talked about Scream Factory. I really want both Drag Me to Hell 4K and the Faculty 4K, but I picked up so much shit in October and money is tight this month and
Yeah,
they're fucking $45 each.
yeah,
So
it's
I
crazy.
was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait on it, and if I don't get the slip, I'm not gonna kick myself, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think they say what they're usually available for like the first like 3 months or something. So hopefully you'll still be able to get one. I mean, if you don't get it right away. But yeah, I mean, I already own Drag Me to Hell on Blu-ray, and I love that movie. I've been debating
Same.
on picking it up on 4K, but usually like I've got like some local like movie stores around me and stuff, and usually if I go in there, I see a movie that I have on Blu-ray on 4K, like, and I want to upgrade, I'll do it sometimes. But for the most part, I mean, I usually am only upgrading stuff that like I really, really love because like it still looks great on Blu-ray to me. Um, but yeah, like 7 years ago, I was buying. I think I bought two slipcovers to complete my Scream Factory collection. So every Scream Factory release that I own that has a slipcover, I have. But like when I first got into collecting, I didn't know that like some of these releases had slipcovers, you know. So like
Yeah.
I think I had to buy From Beyond and The Burning, and I didn't pay much for them. I only paid like $15 for them. So I mean, it wasn't a big deal to me. But like the
But it
OCD,
did matter, right? It
yeah.
did matter.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So
it just looks clean, you know. I mean, if you're
yeah,
looking
hell
at your
yeah. Oh hell
collection
yeah.
and then you got like two movies without slips on them, like
I
there's
know.
just
It
something about it.
drives me nuts. I have that same bug that like if I'm
Yeah,
missing something, I have to get it. Or if I know there's a better edition out there, I have to get it. But a
yeah,
couple of things you said were interesting to me. You talked about the slip covers from Scream Factory. One thing that Scream Factory is doing now, which is interesting, this is like a newer thing, if I'm not mistaken. They're actually listing the titles now with the slip or not. Have you noticed
yeah,
that? So
yeah,
when
yeah,
they put the image up, traditionally you just don't know, right? They say 3 months, but you don't really know if it slipped or not. Now I believe what's happening is if it doesn't show the slip on the website, they ran out.
yeah. And actually, there was a release a couple months back, maybe longer than that, but it was called Funeral Home. Did you get that one or
I
did you
did
see that
not
one?
know.
So they were actually listing that one for like two versions, a slipped version and a non-slipped version, and you were paying extra to get the slipcover, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, I would never do that like from them. I mean, it should just be included in the purchase, you know, like of like the standard Blu-ray.
So that's actually my next point.
Yeah,
Because there's levels to this, right? And I think that again, so for something like The Faculty or Drag Me to Hell, I'm with you, dude. Those are two, like honestly, two of my favorite movies of all time. They're
yeah.
not top 10, but like as far as enjoyability factor, like Drag Me to Hell, fucking slaps, dude.
I mean,
Like
they'll both you'll get your miles out of both of those. I mean,
a
I'll
100%.
watch those so much.
Dude,
So
that's a great way to put it. The rewatchability on both of them is phenomenal.
yeah,
And so, for me, it's like that's a kind of release that, like, to be honest with you, I just want the 4K disc. Like, I don't really care about the slip because it's a Scream Factory release.
yeah,
Because those slips are ass. So like I like the way it looks on my shelf, don't get me wrong. And like for Killer Clowns 4K, you bet your sweet ass I'm getting that slip. But
yeah.
like for a movie like The Faculty, which I love, I would like the slip, but again, like Scream Factory slips are ass, man. Like I don't really care that much.
Yeah, well, and also now, like on most of their 4Ks, if you don't order it from their site, you're not getting the exclusive slipcover to be able to like reverse your art on your like regular cover to have them both, you know? So like if you just buy like the faculty off of Amazon, you're just going to get the original artwork on both covers because they're not doing reversible artwork on their 4Ks, at least most of them.
It's crazy what they charge.
Yeah.
For what you're getting. I mean, not to say the restoration isn't great. Like, I'm sure the disc is going to look great.
Yeah.
But that kind of goes to my point where in terms of packaging and in terms of it mattering, because the Scream Factory slip does not feel premium to me, I just don't care as much, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, I have a couple more examples here of slips and packaging that really, in my opinion, do matter. You could take a look at a bunch of things, but like, I have the Nightmare on Elm Street like ass bag Warner Brothers like set. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I have that too, but I don't have the slipcover on it. I didn't even know there was a slipcover for that, actually.
Yeah, so I have the slip edition. It's like a lenticular slip, but it's fucking terrible. I hate it. But like, this is like the best way to own these movies, right? On Blu-ray.
At least it has Freddy Part 2 on it. Let me tell you that's.
Say it again.
I said at least it has Freddy Part 2 on it, though.
yeah, true. So anyway, I have this edition, and it literally is like bare bones. The packaging is ass, and but this is the way I can watch these movies. But we just got this massive 4K of Nightmare on Elm Street overseas. I thought I had it with me, but I don't. And that to me was like, I have to, even though I wanted the disc in 4K, to me it was the packaging, and I thought it looked fantastic. And because we got the booklet and all that stuff, it mattered to me in that release,
For sure. Yeah, I'm honestly hopeful that they'll do every Nightmare movie in that style of packaging. It's going to take up a lot of shelf space, but it's going to be sick to have all those.
Yeah. Do you have any, like, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but do you have any, like, can any release come to mind that, like, you can think of that it's like, one of the reasons I love this release is because of the packaging, or like this is such a big upgrade on another title, on the previous disc or whatever, or previous packaging. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Not really, honestly. Trying to think. One that does come to mind, but I don't own and would like to own. Nightbreed. There's 2 different releases on the Blu-ray. There's a hard box. And there's also just a standard slip Blu-ray release. And I heard that hard box release is like head and shoulders above of that standard Blu-ray release. But I think
Scream Factory?
Yeah, and I think they both actually came out at the same time. And actually, there's a bunch of drama with that. Actually, I've heard CHH talk about this, but when that released, they were sending people that ordered the standard one the box set. So like they got them like flip-flopped. So like I guess some of the people that got the standard edition got the box set, and some of the people that got the box set got the standard edition. So I bet you that cost them a ton of money.
Dude, so help me. The strongly worded letter that I'll be writing to any company that if I order a box set and they send me a standard edition, it's over. I promise you, it is over because I will not stay for that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn, I didn't know any of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and now they have Nightbreed on 4K. So I mean, I'm probably gonna eventually upgrade my release. I love that movie. It's so good, and
I maybe need to rewatch Nightbreed because I have it. I have a Scream Factory like standard Blu-ray. Yeah. I have something, but
it's not like an amazing movie, but like it's just like the nightmare scenery and all like the practical creature effects from like the monsters and stuff are just badass.
It is. I completely agree, but I don't know what it is. I've only seen it once, but I remember watching and being like, meh, it's okay. Yeah. But I know people love it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, sometimes it takes a couple watches, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at with Trick or Treat. Like, I watched it last night and I really liked it, but I didn't love it. I saw the appeal. But as more the more hours go by, it's like seeping more into my brain, and like I'm thinking about it more and more. In particular, like a couple of scenes that were like just really cool. And I'm also listening. This is the truth of it. I'm listening to the soundtrack today. Like I was at the gym this morning, and I had the soundtrack banging in my ear cups, and it was hitting hard, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna end up watching that and the the WNUF2 Halloween special from TerraVision this weekend because I want to try to get those
Damn you,
Halloween
Jordan Wingle.
watches knocked out of the way, before.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna shoot them an email this week if it doesn't come. Only because Ryan Greyface mentioned that 95% of them are shipped out, and I
Yeah.
was so that mean I'm in the 5%. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
was panicking. I double checked that I ordered them. I was like, holy shit, did I actually forget to order it and didn't click purchase or? But no, I ordered both, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I actually have a pretty funny slipcover story. Actually,
Yeah, lay it on me.
While we're on the topic about slipcovers, so probably back in 2019, I went to a con in Kansas City, and Vinegar Syndrome was there. And
you said 2020.
I think it was probably 2019, 2020 maybe. And Vinegar Syndrome was there, and the dude there was just so cool. He was such a funny, cool guy, and we were talking movies. I was buying a bunch of shit from him. And then he was like, hey, do you want this out of print slipcover? And I was like, sure, dude. And he gave me a Witch Trap slipcover,
sick.
which is an out of print slipcover that I thought was pretty cool. So then I bought the movie, and then I had the slipcover, so instantly the value went up.
Dude,
so
that's sick.
That's a funny slipcover story, but
Witch Trap is fun. Cool movie. I enjoyed it.
I love that one. Yeah, it's got a Linnea Quigley in it, right?
Yep.
Her death scene in that's so awesome.
So funny, you brought up Vinegar Syndrome again, and Vinegar Syndrome slips. I was getting to this before, but I kind of veered off as I tend to do. But there is one slip cover that has eluded me over the years. One Vinegar Syndrome slip cover that is really maybe I don't think I would purchase it at this point, but it is the one that has eluded me and the only one that I do not have. If you know anyone that has it that wants to hook me up, let me know. And that is Mausoleum. So I have the standard release, but I don't have that slip cover. And I've been praying that they do a VSMC exclusive, gold logo slip because I got the Spookies one, I got the Bloodhook one, I got the Suckling one, and those are back catalog stuff that I needed to get. And I'm just hoping one of these days they do Mausoleum because that would just, I maybe have 10 Vinegar Syndrome non-slipped titles, but I don't really care about any of them in that way except for Mausoleum,
Yeah. Well, and that's my thought too, with the Demon Wind thing. I mean, I might end up pulling the trigger on it this Black Friday sale because that one they have so many copies left still. But I was just holding out as long as I could just in case they ended up putting it on 4K or something.
Dude, they might. I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't surprise me if they re-release it with a slit because that's just what Vinegar Syndrome's doing, man. They've literally built an empire and I've seen the whole thing. I've seen it all go down. And it wouldn't shock me if that's kind of what Brad Henderson meant in terms of not being on the same page as them because it's become a big cash grab and they do phenomenal things. I'm not at all arguing that they're putting out things that we all want and we all want to see, but there's a big cash grab happening with Vinegar Syndrome and it's kind of annoying. And it wouldn't shock me if that's kind of what he was referring to. And he's like, I don't want to do this to people. I don't want to go in this direction where we're putting out 18 labels at a time. And, you know, and people are subscribing and we're giving them shit in their subscription. Even though, my thoughts on that, I've gone over my subscription stuff.
Do you think it's going to take another price increase this year? Or do you think it'll stay at the same price?
I don't know. Without getting into too much detail, like I was saying, I think it was $850 last year, if I'm not mistaken. And again, so because I'm a subscriber, I get a $75 discount for a returning subscriber right off the bat. Then you get 3,500 in points at least. So you get another $30 to $40 right there off. Then with all the discount stuff, it really is worth it if you're buying the partner label stuff, but you're just going to have a influx of movies that you might not want. You're going to get so much shit that you might like, but you probably wouldn't have bought on your own. The Forgotten Jolly sets. I sold them off. I sold off the first 5 because people were going crazy over it. And now I'm stuck with 6 and 7. I don't know what to do with them, But anyway, so back to the topic at hand. So a couple, things before we head out today. Just a couple more things. Is Vinegar Syndrome tends to be the company that most people look to. That they really have built an empire on taking shit, putting it in a ribbon box, and selling it to us for top prices.
Yeah.
But in a sense, that is it has become this brilliant marketing plan, and in a sense, it has kind of won all of us over. Because it's become fun to just watch these movies and see what you're gonna get. For
Yeah.
many years, it was like, I don't know what this is. This might be the worst dog shit movie I've ever seen, but it might be great. And that's kind of what Vinegar Syndrome built an empire on. So aside from Vinegar Syndrome, because I think that they've kind of taken the world by storm in terms of the packaging, they are the cream of the crop. Is there another company that you prefer in terms of packaging, like that just you feel is like a cut above the rest?
Definitely Severin. Next to Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, their releases are like along the same line. I mean, they give you a hard box if you want it on a lot of them, and like their covers and stuff are always embossed and really nice, and they do a good job on box sets. Like the Woodlands like witch ones come to mind, like that folk horror box set is really really nice. So I'm a big fan of Severin, and like Cemetery Man, that like box edition. It's not a hard box, but I mean it's still premium and it feels nice. So
do you prefer like something like Severin Cemetery Man box, or something like an Arrow Video, like a hard rigid box?
probably a hard rigid box, honestly. I mean, not that the Cemetery type man one doesn't like look good, because it does, but like there's something about the hard rigid box that like it feels more secure, and then like the movie's more tight in it, and it feels better,
I agree. I also feel like with a hard box, like I'm not gonna fuck it up. And I think with like every time I pick up Cemetery Man, I'm like, I'm so scared I'm gonna like damage this thing, or like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this movie is like a grail piece in my collection, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want it to be a little more protected,
Yeah, well, and you can also think about like when you take your movies on and off your shelf. I mean, like if you have a hard box, everything's gonna stay in that hard box. There's no chance that any corner is gonna get caught and it's gonna rip or anything.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so let's kind of wrap up here. We talked to you guys about slipcovers. We talked to you guys about packaging and whether it really matters, because I think the honest truth is that it depends on who you are as a collector, right? Because collecting is a very personal thing, and for Brad Henderson, right? Like he doesn't give a shit. He just cares about the movie. Yeah. But I don't know if that's the case for everybody. So I'm going to ask you, Jordan. Kind of sum up, round out your thoughts here. Does packaging matter, and why does it matter?
It personally matters to me, just because like, especially when you can like display like both the original artwork and the new artwork. There's just something about that just feels really nice, because then you kind of have the best of both worlds. And then like when there's a hard box, it feels more premium, because I mean these movies cost a lot of money a lot of times. So like having the packaging nice, it makes you feel like you're getting more bang for your buck. So personally, to me, they do matter.
So we haven't even broached that at all. But like the cost of these things, right? Like we're paying a lot of money for it. Why the fuck are we not getting hard boxes, right? Like, and I go straight to like Scream Factory, like $45 for a slipcover, lousy ass slipcover. Again, not hating on Scream Factory, they do great work, and I have a zillion Scream Factory releases. But again, if I'm like the prices are so astronomical that like if we're paying these prices, shouldn't we get better packaging?
Well, yeah, and my mind just goes straight to like their Creepshow Blu-ray release that came in a really nice like semi-rigid box with a booklet, and their Elvira Haunted Hills release that came in like the same style of packaging. Those were both around like, I mean, $40, I'm pretty sure. So why can't they do stuff like that with like the Faculty and their new releases?
So actually, I didn't know that the Haunted Hills Elvira release was a box.
Yep,
I gotta get that.
Yeah, I don't know if it is anymore, but I mean, the version I got was, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta get that. I love that movie. Okay, cool. All that's great. So I agree with you, man. It matters. It matters because I'm a collector, and it matters because I love horror, and the besides the fact that it protects the movies and it does all that great stuff, and it looks great on your shelf, in those releases with the limited edition packaging, you get the booklet, you get the art cards, all those things matter. The extras matter. When you're a collector, when you are a fan, these things matter. Do you agree?
Yep, 100%.
I might not open the art cards. They might just sit in that little stupid ribbon that they come in. I
Yep.
might never see them, but it matters. And I think whether the movie's coming out or the movie coming out that you're getting, are familiar with and love, and you can explore your fanhood even more and showcase your fanhood even more, or whether it's a movie you don't know that well and you just want to get to know, and it's like, oh my god, I wasn't a fan of this movie, but now I am, and I have this awesome edition. That's how I feel about Trick or Treat.
Yep.
And so I think no matter how you slice it, these things matter, man. So we're
100%.
just about out of time. Jordan, always, it's a pleasure. And for you guys that are watching, Jordan and I are kind of trying to make this a more regular thing for sure. As you know, he's been on, twice in the last couple of days. So we're having a blast here doing our thing. Jordan, anything else you want to add?
No, dude, I love talking horror movies, love talking physical media, collectibles, any of that stuff. So I'm always down to chill. So
hell yeah, dude. I'll link our socials below. You got Jordan's right there. Shinigami Jingle. Do slipcovers matter? Does packaging matter? Sound off below, guys. If you can hit that like button, please subscribe to my channel. Jordan and I will be, scouring the comments and hitting you guys up. And we appreciate everyone that's already hit up some of the other videos. But we're down to talk, guys. We're down to comment back and forth and see what the deal is, because this is a very polarizing topic and one that we know you guys have all kinds of opinions about. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Definitely hit us down below. Subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys next time, okay? All right, peace out, guys.